Traore is doing massive development in Africa. Massive development, man. Massive development. Actually, the only president who is known all over Africa by nearly every youth in Africa is President Traore, the president of Burkina Faso. So he is now building lots and lots of infrastructure projects. But the main infrastructure project is the building of 352 kilometers road linking the capital city Ouagadougou to the second largest city in the country, that is Bobo. And the project is an estimate of $350 million for the project to be completed. Actually, it's a highway, an 8-lane highway done by what we call Faso Mebo Initiative. Can you even believe that? If you don't know what Faso Mebo Initiative is, in short, the project is being developed by funds that are not borrowed externally. So the project is funded by money that has been contributed by the government and the people. And these people are Africans in the diaspora and any Africa of goodwill who can contribute to the project. So the project is still ongoing. But at the same time, we have minor projects within Burkina Faso, mostly the infrastructure project that are also being done by locally made materials. So let's have a look at this video showing some of the projects that are locally done within Burkina Faso using the local made materials. Then when we come back, we can analyze the video further. Let's watch these, Africans. Let's watch this. That is a good show, man. That is a good show, man. And that is the spirit of Pan-Africanism that Africa has. So we have to build our countries for us to be respected. Look at what is happening in America, surely. How African players, football players who are going for the World Cup, how they are being humiliated at the airport. Look at what is happening. Do you know why they are being humiliated? It's because we are not organized as a continent. Okay? So if we build our continent, if we value ourselves, then at the end of the day, we have to be respected. It is as simple as that. If we don't do that, then we will not be respected. As you are speaking now, we are not respected. Look at what is happening in the southern part of Africa. Okay? So instead of us, we as Africans, coming together to build this continent and catapult our economies to another level, we are fighting each other. So how can we be respected? That is why we are congratulating Traore for making Africa and at least showing to the world that this can be done. In fact, when Traore assumed office in 2022, he said that his aim is simple: to catapult the economy of Burkina Faso to another level, the levels that they have never been seen before. That is what he's doing. Since independence, those are some of the projects that they were never done. Okay? Even if people are calling him a dictator, then he's a good dictator. Then, even if he's a dictator, then indeed, we as Africans, we all need dictators. If being a dictator can lead to a country transforming to another level, then we also need the dictators in all African countries. Traore is setting examples. And one thing that I'm proud of is the fact that even though he's setting an example, the money that is being used, can you even imagine this? The money that is being used in Burkina Faso to develop those projects, they're never externally borrowed. They're just coming from the national coffers by the name Faso Memo. Okay? Where even if you have $1, $2, you can contribute to the national coffers. So when they bring this money together, they pump it into a project, and at the end of the day, Burkina Faso becomes great. I really, really, really wish that one of these days I can pay a visit to that country and see what President Traore has done. So that is the spirit of Pan-Africanism, man. I also feel good when I see that. I feel good, and I feel that Africa is going to realize her potential. It's not in infrastructure alone. Go to agriculture. There is serious modernization of agricultural sector in Burkina Faso. Talk about education. Serious modernization of education system in Burkina Faso. In fact, they are collaborating with Russia. Most of the scientists from Burkina Faso, they are now moving to Russia to study in Russia, then come back home, bring the skills that they've learned from Russia to home to catapult the country's economy. That is what we want. That is what we want. Africa realizing its potential. Can you even imagine this? When 90% of Africans, they are dreaming that their leaders, their presidents, should even die, or even just be uprooted from their office and be taken elsewhere. The citizens of Burkina Faso, they are dreaming that, look, they are wishing that Traore had took power earlier, because they are seeing massive development. That is what we want. That is what we want. When people wanted to take Traore's life, the citizens of Burkina Faso, they had to align themselves in the presidential palace to protect the president. Can you imagine that? They had to align themselves in the presidential palace to protect the president, because the president is doing massive development in Burkina Faso. Suddenly and unfortunately, President Traore has never been given a right to audience in the African Union. Why? Because, as usual, African Union, they think that Traore was not democratically elected in office for him to be given a right to audience in the African Union. Well, at least now, they are beginning to appreciate what is happening in Burkina Faso. They are beginning to appreciate what is happening in Burkina Faso. The president of African Union, that is the president of Burundi, at least paid a visit and visited Traore to see what they are doing right. Not only Traore, let me just say the Sahel region. The Sahel region, they are doing massive things. Right now, their main project is to make sure that they are using their currency. They are coming up with one currency, the CFA franc. They are coming up with one currency so that the entire Sahel region could be using one currency. Remember, they are not part of ECOWAS. They are done with ECOWAS because they thought that ECOWAS was not doing enough to fight terrorism, to catapult their economies to another level. So they are now working alone. And in fact, they are working now faster as compared to when they were within the ECOWAS region. So, ladies and gentlemen, Africa is great. Africa must be great. This continent will be great. If it's not great, then we as Africans are done. See you next time. Thank you for watching this video.